Dr. Jones, maybe we start from the very beginning. For how long has the renovation of art building has been planned?
The art building has been under consideration for renovation for around 20 years. In 1966, they did a renovation where they added AC to the building, and so they made a lot of what they were thinking were improvements at the time, but they really did a lot of damage to the architecture of the building and the beauty of the building. So we're hoping to restore some of that.
Mm-hmm. The art building itself, it's considered a historical site, right?
It is one of the oldest buildings on campus. The original administration building burned down, and so then in 1906 the old science building was built, and then in 1939, I believe, this was the library. And so this building was built as the original library, and it's housed the library, psychology, and now art. And communication and theater was added in 2014.
Mm-hmm. And that makes it probably also difficult to renovate?
It is very difficult to renovate. Like I said, when they did the renovations to add AC, they had to run duct work, and so it really did some damage to the beauty of the building.
Mm-hmm. So what exactly precisely is planned now?
Right now we're looking at adding office space, and we want to bring all of communication and theater together. Right now we have a journalism lab in another building, and we have 2 faculty members over there. So it'd be nice to have our whole department in one building. There's a lot of unusable space that's used, storage. We've got a room that's got a half floor in it, and so it's not usable for anything but storage. And they're going to hopefully tear that floor out and make that usable space, and we're going to reclaim some of the mechanical rooms and things like that so that we'll have more classrooms and office space.
Mm-hmm. And would you tell me a little bit about the planned elevator outside the building?
The plans right now are to make the first floor usable as well. Right now it is not handicap accessible, and so the plans are to move the elevator from the west side of the building to the east side of the building and put it on the outside so that we can reclaim that space as well. And the elevator will will begin at the first floor, which is now just the basement, but we can make that into a student lounge and use it for other things as well. And then it can stop at every level and make it the building more handicap accessible.
Mm-hmm. Would you tell me a little bit about the new design the building has from the outside and from the inside?
Well, the outside of the building is really beautiful. If you go out and look up, there's a lot of decorative, I'm not real sure of the term that they use for it, but there's some decorative items on the outside of the building that they're going to restore. They found a few, the architects did, as they were going through the building, and so those are going to be remade, and the beauty of the outside of the building is going to be restored.
Mm-hmm. And maybe one of the issues people have visiting the art building are the very narrow and not very well stairs. You told me, hey, 7 years in this building and I haven't fallen even once. Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Absolutely. The stairs, if you do come into the art building, the staircases are narrow and the steps are too short. They're not really designed well for this day and age. They were probably fine in 1966, but today, with the new plans, the plans are to take out the staircases and move them and to make them wider and the steps where they're safer.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell me a little bit about the capacity of the new building?
Well, it'll have more classroom space, and so therefore we'll have more of our communication courses here instead of having to have them in 2 places. So because we're going to reclaim some unused space or storage space, that will give us a greater capacity in the building for students.
Mm-hmm. You have mentioned it has been planned to renovate the building for like 20 years.
Yes.
What is the current update? When do you personally expect renovation to start?
I'm not sure. When I became chair of the combined department in 2014, everybody was gung-ho about getting things rolling. And the first summer that I was over here, we were actually moved out of the building, those of us that were here in the summer, so that the asbestos could be removed. We had asbestos tiles in the ceiling and on the floor, and so all of the things in the art building had to be moved out, and all of the faculty that were here that summer. And so that was the first process, and it took several $100,000 to do that. And so then after that, we're close to having, it's close to about $7 million project. And so to find that money in this economic downturn, the pandemic, is going to be very difficult. So, I'd love to see it happen in the next year or two. I'm hoping that maybe a 5-year plan.